Hey, Mike, do you love subscription boxes as much as I do?
Probably more than you do.
Guess what? You're going to be absolutely obsessed then with Meet Cute Box. Meet Cute Box is a membership box for couples that give you a new themed date night box each month for you and your partner to enjoy. My favorite part about Meet Cute Box is the fact that all the items are from small local businesses around the world. So you really get to experience something new and different every month.
Memberships start at only $29.99 per month, with each box valued up to $100.
If you're looking for ways to keep date nights fun and exciting, as a newlywed like you, Mike,
That's right.
you can try Meet Cute Box completely risk-free by checking meetbox.com and use the code SUMMER20 to get 20% off your first order. But hurry, the offer expires at the end of June, so visit meetcutebox.com and use the code SUMMER20 at checkout. Couples memberships are $39.99, or single memberships for that single friend, $29.99 every month. Make sure to sign up today. You can receive your box as early as next week.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news of the week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology with a little whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show today. We live stream during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us at techtimeradio.com, or you can even tweet us during the show at hashtag TechTimeRadio, and we'll do our best to respond to your questions. I'm your host, a technologist with over 30 years of expertise working for companies like Microsoft and Vulcan Inc., and a keynote speaker on technology subjects from cybersecurity to blockchain and everything in between. My co-host here, Mike Corday, is an award-winning author originally from Arizona. Mike is a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology with 20-plus years helping others understand human behavior. Mike keeps me from geeking out while providing an insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We are two friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. Mr. Gourday, how are we doing today?
Peachy, man.
Peachy?
Yeah.
You're looking nice with your little black tie, everything all spruced up over there.
Yeah, somebody downstairs asked for a table.
Did you go help him serve?
I guess I look like a waiter.
You do? Okay. All right. Well, welcome to the show. All right, Odie, we got a packed show today. Let me just tell you, we got 3 guests. We've never done 3 guests on the show at one time. So today we are breaking a record.
You're really pushing the envelope today.
We are. But I think we got it all taken care of. But let's start now. Today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right. Our buddy Elon Musk threatens to walk away from the Twitter deal.
Oh, no.
And what would you do if a neighbor constantly monitored you 24/7 with a Ring camera? All right. Gwen joins the show on our Gadgets and Gear segment. We have a review of the new iPhone features in iOS 16. And then we have Phil back, continuing his part 3 of Phil's electric versus gas vehicle segment. And in studio, we have the interview of the founder of Candidate. He's sitting over here, and he's going to be coming on and talking about his technology and his company and how it's being used to help companies find employees. In addition, we have our standard features, including This Week in Technology, Mike's mesmerizing moment, and of course, our pick of the day, whiskey tasting. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now it's time to start our show with our loaded question of the week, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. Mike and Odie, here's your loaded question. What is the hardest thing about being your age?
Getting out of bed
Get out of bed
without a slumber injury.
I heard, did you like twist something getting out of bed?
I literally sprained a toe stretching.
Okay.
I don't.
don't get it?
All the warranties expire at 40, so you're in for it if you're under 40 and you're approaching that.
All right, Odie, thank goodness you're not 40. What is the hardest thing
Just wait.
about being your age?
Probably like there's no real map of what you're doing right now. I'm 22 or 21. I'm
Okay.
gonna be 22 soon.
Okay.
And it's
You don't even know what age you are. Huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm turning
I
22
think-
soon.
Okay.
That's the
But-
biggest problem.
21,
That's
21
the
and a
biggest
half.
problem she has. She doesn't know what age she is.
21 and a quarter. Okay. All right.
But yeah, like
Knowing your future?
yeah,
All right.
because y'all already have it done.
Oh.
You know?
Oh, we
Pretty
haven't
set.
done.
It just looks that way.
That's right.
Well, yeah, but right now it's like, oh, what do I do?
Okay.
You know?
I guess
Live your life, man. Live it.
I guess the hardest thing about my age is just getting through everything in a day. Sometimes I'll just stay up until 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning because I just can't get through the same stuff I did back when I was a little bit younger when I get it done by 10 o'clock. There you go. All right. I guess it's growing old too.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
That's okay.
We're doing the same thing. All right.
Yeah.
Well, of course, that was our loaded question brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Visit elderberry-boost.com. Mike, as always, we have our whiskey tasting during the commercials to see if we selected our whiskey pick of the day. If it gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show, you want to make sure you listen all the way through to pick up some interesting facts on our Mark's Mumbles, and they will make you go, I guarantee you today. He's got some interesting facts. Yeah. Okay. Now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, story number 1. Neighbor uses a Ring camera to look into neighbor's home windows like a peeping Tom. A mom has reached out as she is at her wit's end on a neighborhood dispute, which she shared on TikTok. After multiple attempts, she has been unable to block her neighbor's Ring camera from uncomfortably peering into her property. Her story has gone viral, garnering over 880,000 views on the platform TikTok. The original video by user at Living Richardson. She explains that her neighbor installed a Ring camera at the very edge of the property. It peers over their shared fence. She says, how is he allowed to do this in TikTok? The Ring camera was more commonly installed on your property as a doorbell device, right? To increase that. But this camera, however, has been set up on a long pole that reaches and sees the entire backyard, including a swimming pool frequented by her preteen daughters and friends. He has angled it so you can see in it. Yeah, he has angled it so you can see into the entire backyard, including all the windows in their house where our children sleep, our living room, and all 3 of our bathrooms. The TikToker and her husband put up a temporary barrier to block his view, thinking that this would solve it. But after a couple of weeks, they realized that he just simply went out and moved the camera further down the fence. The primary concern, again, is their 11-year-old daughter that seems to be having all the attention of this camera. They called the sheriff, who explained there was nothing he could legally do. The sheriff went over to reason with the neighbor, and the neighbor said that he will continue to have his camera up there. The only way to block this view is to build a bigger fence, she said, which requires special permission from the city. Now, she did get some suggestion from other TikTok users that jumped in saying that you could get a short-range Wi-Fi blocker.
Mm-hmm.
You could tent your windows in your home, or you could even plant corn and have it grow up over the deal itself.
I have a much simpler solution.
What's that?
A pellet gun.
A pellet gun.
Yeah, just take out the camera.
Just take out the camera and just say you had no idea what hit it. But he's going to have that on the cloud recording. You realize that, though, right? All of a sudden, he's going to
Not if you hit it from the back.
Oh, you hit it from the back. Okay.
Yeah, come on, you got to be smart about this.
Okay. There you go. How would you feel about your neighbor constantly monitoring you 24/7 with a Ring camera or any video camera?
Well, I got to tell you, I'm from a small southern town, so everybody knows what everybody's doing in small southern towns. So,
okay.
For me, I'm kind of used to that. It is creepy when we're considering what he's doing, but it's not something that's new. It's just using technology in a way that people have done all. This
reminds me of Back to the Future, right? You remember Back to the Future? Supposedly Marty's dad was bird watching,
yes, he
right?
was,
and he was
bird watching.
Yeah, with binoculars. And
That's
now
right.
this person's taking it to the other one. Well, I hope story number 2 is a little bit better. We'll go to you, Mike.
Yeah. Okay. Well, story number 2. Guess who is threatening not to buy Twitter?
Oh, I only have one guess.
Yes, Elon Musk has threatened to walk away from his $44 billion takeover of Twitter this past week. He is accusing the social media company of thwarting his request to learn more about its user base. In a letter filed with regulators, he said he was entitled to do his own measurement of spam accounts. This letter puts the formal cap onto the dispute that has been simmering for weeks now after he postponed the purchase of the social media giant for a lack of transparency. Of course, Twitter has defended its estimates, but Musk continues to believe that fake and spam Twitter accounts make up far more than less than 5% Twitter as reported.
So just think of that. If you're on Twitter, and so Musk must have, he's not going to just throw that number out there, right? So that means Twitter has more than 5% of all their accounts are fake.
Yeah, well, Twitter is saying they have less than. Elon is saying there's more than. Okay. Nobody's being transparent, So anyway, well, the deal to buy Twitter was approved by the board in April, and Elon has said in the past that he remains committed to the acquisition, but since he first raised the issue of fake accounts last month. In a statement from the company, Twitter said it will continue to cooperatively share information with Musk to consummate the transaction in accordance with the terms of the merger agreement. Of course, if he does opt out, Mr. Musk faces a $1 billion breakage fee.
Wow.
And a possible lawsuit. I don't know that he really cares about all that.
He's such an interesting dude. So people think that I like him. I don't like him. I just find him very intriguing. It's not that I dislike him, but he is just on his own different planet. I mean, I know he's not settled on Mars
but
yet.
He's trying to get back to Mars.
I know. So maybe if he got to Mars, then everything would just be kind of the Elon Musk rules.
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you think he's going to buy Twitter or not? What's your guess on that, Mike?
I don't know. This could be what it looks like, or it could be a complete, because he's known for just shaking things up, right?
Yeah. He laid off a bunch of people this week too from Tesla. He's just kind of a mover shaker.
Yeah, and then he hired him for a bunch of projects.
So he laid off some people and then he hired him on for a different company. He's got all these companies. He's the only guy that probably like 52 card pickup. Those are all just his companies. You just sit on out. He's like, oh, the ace of clubs. Oh, that's this.
Okay.
That's this
one.
All right.
I figure if you can have that much money available to you kind of think a lot differently than I do.
You would. Now, story number 3, 4 exciting new iOS 16 features that make your iPhone feel brand new. Apple announced these yesterday. Now, this is crazy because Apple did.
Okay.
Apple announced these yesterday. None of these features we're talking about are new to anything on a Samsung Galaxy phone. All of these exist, but all of a sudden we're now all excited that they're coming to iPhones. We're going to talk about number 1 right here. You can now customize your lock screen. So when your lock screen goes to, you can have like a little clock with different fonts. You can have your calendar with different colors now available on your screen. You're going to pull out your Android
widgets.
Yes. You can like widgets that you currently have on Androids, but no, this is coming on out in iOS 16. Everybody's excited about it. Number 2, you have live activities. It makes your notifications less cluttered. So Apple has created a new notification system called Live Activities, where it allows you to see things like the progress of your Uber and scores in a game and more on your screen itself in different widgets also.
Okay.
So this is like the alerts you get from the top of your phone that says the Uber has now arrived on an Android phone.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to have these live activities available on your Apple device.
So basically, they've just decided to copy what's popular with everybody else.
Yeah, well, no, hang on. Number 3, I'm so excited about. You can now edit your messages that you've already sent. As your message that you sent to somebody, having the ability to go back and edit and change, of course, that autocorrect word that nobody knows what you're doing is now able to be done in this new build, which you couldn't do before. So this is perfect for those typos that you accidentally sent.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Why is that?
Because some of the funniest things on the internet are autocorrect.
They are. And number 4, planning for trips in advance with multi-stop navigation routing. So essentially, Google has had this for like 5 years.
Google Maps is coming to iPhone.
No, but it's their own maps. Maps is finally getting a feature that was previously available on Google Maps. Multi-stop allowing you to plan trips in advance, both on your iPhone and on your Mac. Multi-stop routing is supported now by Siri, so you can add a stop only using your voice. To learn more about all these great Apple 16 features, you can always visit us at techtimeradio.com. Click on your blog, and I will have 8 more different features that already exist in Android now coming to your iPhone.
Or you could have an Android and already know about them.
All right, Mike, our time is up. We got through the top stories of the week. If you want to learn more about this, please visit us online at techtimeradio.com and click on our episode section or the blog so you can get even more about the iOS items. and you'll see more details on the stories that we share. Now it's time to get ready for our first whiskey tasting during our break. But up next, we have our Gadgets and Gears segment with our producer, Gwen Way, joining the show with a new gadget to share with everybody. We have Phil Hennessy back on the show to continue our 4-part series, Phil's electric versus gas vehicle technology insights. We're going to be back in a moment. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost.
You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size. It's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on Tech Time Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry. That's ELDERBERRY-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, what would you recommend for someone that's looking to launch their career in coding?
Treehouse, man.
Treehouse has one of the best and most affordable online classrooms for you. At Treehouse, they've rethought the learning process and built a proven system to get you the skills and knowledge you need to achieve your goals.
That's awesome.
When you're done with the course, you haven't just watched a video. You've learned, practiced, and absorbed the concept, or choose to build your portfolio. Create a network and land your dream job with their boot camp style tech degree program. Land a dev job this year.
Okay.
Whatever your goal, we'll get you there. Get 50% off your first month as a podcast listener. It's teamtreehouse.com/signup_code. That's signup_code/podcorn courses. Sign up today with our special Tech Time Radio code. Now listen carefully. It's teamtreehouse.com/signup_code. That's signup_code/podcorn courses.
That's awesome.
Sign up today.
Well, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time Radio is a weekly, hourly technology show about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself and Mike Day. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break, and now let me tell you all about what we are sipping in our pick of the day today. It is the Old Ezra Brooks 7-year-old barrel. Ooh.
It tastes like Old Ezra.
117 proof, 69.95. This is caramel with an orange blossom, crushed hazelnuts, and a peppery flower of oak, with a warming cedar spice that continues on the palate, joined by the robust vanilla and a touch of corn.
Yeah, I don't like corn.
This is produced by an undisclosed Kentucky distillery, rumored to be Heaven Hill. It is 78% corn, 12% malt barley, 10% rye. And what do you think of this so far, Mr. Gourdet?
Are you sure you didn't pour Canadian Mist in the bottle?
I did not. Wow. I did not put Canadian Mist in there.
Well, it tastes like Old Ezra.
It tastes like something that's been around for many years. Well, okay. To make sure you stay all the way through the show to get either our thumbs up or our thumbs down. I don't know.
I don't know how I'm going to say that.
Okay. All right. Well, up next, we're excited to have our producer, Gwen Way, joining us via video stream to start our next segment.
What's new in our gadgets and gear?
All right, Gwen, welcome to the show.
Hello. So it sounds like Ezra is not a kind mistress.
Oh, let me just tell you, there's nothing kind about this at all. I don't know. This is kind of like a Nathan. You know what?
It's got a lot of pucker power.
So this is $69 for a Nathan bargain barrel of $5 whiskey.
This is yeah.
Wow. Okay, Gwen, but that's not why we're here. Tell us about this gadget. Now, we had 3 gadgets on our production show, and we chose this one. Now,
I chose this one.
Mr. Gourdet,
I'm really
That is
excited
true.
about this one.
Mr. Gourdet loves this item. Let's talk about what it is and what it does. It's the SmartBox wireless CarPlay and Android auto adapter. Do you want to take it from there and tell us what we got?
I certainly can. I'm going to actually start out saying I owe some of our listeners an apology. I realize that I reach for the technology gadgets that interest me and that directly affect my life without necessarily thinking about what directly affects theirs.
That's the best part about you being a producer in the segment. You can kind of do what you want, but okay,
You have the fun stuff.
Okay, all right.
But the second I posted the link for the SmartBox into our meeting last night and saw Mike's face just light up, I realized that maybe I should take into account some non-techie interests.
That's right.
Yeah, you were all over this.
I was all over this.
We did a voting poll, and let me just tell you, Mike Gourdet,
I voted 3 times.
If there's ever a way to rig it, it could have been done. That's right. All right, so tell us a little bit about this. What does this adapter do for your, I guess, phone and for your car?
So it's not just phone, which is part of what makes this special. It's any mobile device. And what it does is it actually connects your phone to the car using Bluetooth instead of actually having to plug it in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
Why? Because right now, what do you have to do?
So every time I get in my car, I have to get in. I have to plug it in. I've got this wire that's hooked up to my dash. I have to plug it into my phone, and then when I get out, I have to take it out and put it in, plug it in, take it out. So now when I put it in, it always gives me this. Oh, your cable is unstable, and because of the port.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't. I need all this stuff. Okay. And so now I have.
Or if you're like my husband, you wrap the wire around the shifter, and it gets just tangled. And
Yep, I've done that. Ripped it out of the console on accident. It's a pain.
All right, so tell us about this. Where can we find this? Where is it at? So it's where is it located?
It's my favorite. It's a Kickstarter. You can just go on there and search for SmartBox. There is a dash between the two, but you can find it without the dash. I did test that.
Okay.
So the cool thing is it's literally just a box that connects. You plug it into the car and you leave it plugged in, and then your phone, your tablet, whatever you have that has Bluetooth can connect to your car. This is great because you can play music, you can listen to podcasts. I don't know, maybe like TechTime Radio.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's on everybody.
Should we mention that this is only for cars that actually have the capability of displaying screen stuff?
It does need that video, but there are a lot of things that you can get installed in your car for between $100 and $150 that will encompass that.
Okay.
One other good thing, if you've got kids, this can actually play movies on that little screen. So
as you're driving down the road, you can be watching.
Oh, that's what I would be doing.
Well, there's that too.
There's nothing illegal about that.
Nothing at all.
Would this work in your hoopty?
That's right.
I mean,
it will not work in my Geo Metro. I would have to buy.
I know.
You'd have to put a screen in the Geo, but you know, I mean, it might be worth it.
All right. So, what's the price of this? How many backers, and where can I go to get this?
So, well, right now it's sitting at about 712 backers, with 22 days to go. It's going to reach its goal by June 30th. I say that because it's already $75,000 over its original goal.
Wow, good.
So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any doubt about it actually going through. Right now, there are still about 50 of the early bird versions that you can pledge, and it comes out to being about $110 for this.
There you go, $110, Mr. Gourdet. Are you signing up?
Yep.
You got to go to Kickstarter. You got to look for SmartBox. And you better jump on it. Now, the number on the SmartBox may look a little bit different because it's in Hong Kong, right? Isn't it Hong Kong values?
That's
so
right.
Don't be scared at 800 whatever Hong Kong.
Yeah, it says 832.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's only $110. All right. Yeah. Well, that is perfect. Gwen, thank you so much for joining our show today. We're going to take a commercial break here, and we're going to continue on our busy pack show. We'll see you on Monday again at our production meeting. Sounds great. Thank you, Gwen.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right. Okay. That ends our segment, Gadgets and Gear. Up next, We have This Week in Technology, so it'd be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we'll be doing this during the break also. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's happening?
Have you heard of Foul Play, a true crime podcast?
No, Nathan.
Hey guys, let me tell you a little bit about Foul Play.
What whose voice is that, Mike?
I think that's Mark Mumbles.
Foul Play is one of the oldest true crime podcasts. Murder, mystery, serial killers, oh my. Let us take you on a journey to discover some of the most unbelievable minds of the most wicked monsters imaginable. We might even solve a few cold cases again. Now, it's hosted by crime journalist Shane L. Waters, Netflix The Keeper star Gemma Hoskins, and crime writer Wendy C. It's foulplay.com.
Thanks, Mark. Foul Play, a true crime podcast.
And you can find that on any of your standard podcast services. Just search for Foul Play, a true crime podcast.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right. June 4th, 1977, VHS comes to America. The VHS video cassette format is introduced in North America at a press conference before the Consumer Electronics Show starts in Chicago. Long before the battle between Blu-ray and HD DVD, there was another home video standard war that pitted Sony against another Japanese company, JVC. It was the VHS, the Video Home System, versus Betamax. That's right. The format allowed for longer playtime, a faster rewinding, and fast forwarding. JVC showed a 2-hour tape that was so compact, Popular Science called it at the time a smaller, in fact, that is the same size as audio cassette discs. The system was called VidStar. The VCR would cost at that time $1,280. Today, with inflation rates, that's $4,600. Blank tapes were priced at $20 back in the day, now $72. Just think of that. That's amazing. In just its first year, though, the VHS format took 40% of the business away from Sony. And by 1987, about 90% of the 5.25 billion market of VCRs sold in the United States were based on the VHS format. The last standalone JVC VHS VCR was produced on October 28, 2008. And now
I still have one of those.
Yeah, and now they can only be found on the secondary market. Did you remember the first VHS tapes when they came out?
Oh, yeah. I was there through the whole thing.
Yeah,
I
me too.
remember Betamax.
I do remember Betamax. My uncle had Betamax, and we got VHS because it was a little bit cheaper. And he would used to laugh at us until all of a sudden he couldn't buy any more Betamax.
I know. I mean, it just really killed the Betamax thing. Beta was supposed to be better than VHS. So, you know.
Sony never lost a battle after that. With Blu-ray, they won. So Sony figured out from that battle.
It was all marketing.
Yeah, it was all marketing. All right. Well, that was This Week in Technology. Have you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 2 years of videos? All you got to do is visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows, sign up for our newsletter, or join the Tech Timers Facebook group to talk with us live all the time. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have our expert Phil Hennessy just around the corner and Mark's Mumbles. We'll see you after the break.
Hey, Mike, do you love subscription boxes as much as I do?
Probably more than you do.
Guess what? You're going to be absolutely obsessed then with Meet Cute Box. Meet Cute Box is a membership box for couples that give you a new themed date night box each month for you and your partner to enjoy. My favorite part about Meet Cute Box is the fact that all the items are from small local businesses around the world. So you really get to experience something new and different every month.
Memberships start at only $29.99 per month, with each box valued up to $100.
If you're looking for ways to keep date nights fun and exciting, as a newlywed like you, Mike,
that's right,
you can try Meet Cute Box completely risk-free by checking meetbox.com and use the code SUMMER20 to get 20% off your first order. But hurry, the offer expires at the end of June, so visit meetcutebox.com and use the code SUMMER20 at checkout. Couples memberships are $39.99, or single memberships for that single friend, $29.99 every month. Make sure to sign up today. You can receive your box as early as next week.
All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. I'm your host and technology expert, Nathan Mumm. In addition, we have our human solutions consultant extraordinaire, my Lie to Me expert, Micro Day, here on the side. Hey, how's that whiskey tasting?
I can't even feel my mouth anymore.
You can't feel your mouth anymore? All right, well, you know what? I think that we're going to be excited to hear what our next segment and expert has to say about this whiskey.
And now for Mark's
What does Mark say about old Ezra?
All right. Lexico took to what was already doing well with Ezra Brooks' 7-year 101 proof, and they decided to up the proof, and voila, you have a new product that people can get behind. The flavor profile isn't going to shock anyone with its uniqueness, but it's interesting on how the upper proof changes this bourbon, because Ezra has a lower bourbon. Yeah, this bourbon used to be a better deal. Over the last few years, the cost has risen from $40 to $70. The high alcohol and heavy dry oaky influence, it's the lack of richness, though, that defines the whiskey. Mark finds it a little bit off for a sipper, and the high price makes it ideal for cocktails. But he's not spending that money at the high-end price for his cocktails.
I find it a bit off.
Mark gives this a thumbs down.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Hopefully that doesn't influence us by any means.
I hope not.
All right. Okay. Well, as we continue our show, we have up next Phil, who's going to be joining us, talking about Phil's electric versus gas vehicle technology insight. Now, if you missed the first two segments, you got to go to episode 101 and episode 102 of Tech Time Radio. You can visit our website at techtimeradio.com and watch these. It's regarding the segments of electric vehicles versus hybrid plug-in versus gas vehicles. Now, a range of miles you can travel with each of these vehicles has been explained. We also talked about the batteries and how you can actually go about for charging these batteries on segment 2. And the question that I asked him last time on the show was, how does America compare to the rest of the world in the race to zero emissions? Let's bring Phil up and start our segment.
Welcome to the segment we call Ask the Experts, with our Tech Time Radio expert, Phil Hennessy.
All right. Electric car batteries should last for many years. In fact, manufacturers routinely warranty the replacement of such batteries for 8 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. So, Phil, thank you for joining the show.
Yeah, hi, Phil.
Hi, guys. My question to you last time was, okay, the zero emission question. How are we doing with having electric cars really be green? And what I mean by that is, how are electric cars, or are they better for our environment?
I thought you said there was no more loaded questions today.
Okay, well, I hope
you know, Nathan.
That's right.
He's been hitting the old Ezra.
That's right.
So looked at a couple studies, one in nature.com and one at Nature magazine, and the other one with MIT. And basically one of the things that we found is that carbon emissions may grow in the short term as we transition to electric vehicles. So why is that? And that's kind of an interesting statement, right? Well, basically the manufacturing of the battery, the mining of the battery, and the manufacturing of the vehicle and the motors and everything costs more in electricity and carbon than it does for a normal automobile. And so what we're hanging our hat on, according to the studies, is that the electric vehicle is going to be more efficient in the long term. And as we decarbonize our electric grid, that we will be more efficient with the vehicles, and so we'll use less electricity or less power, less energy, burning less fossil fuels or switching to green energy by 2050. So there may be a small increase in carbon emissions as we transition to EV. And then the goal that what the studies have shown, though, is that even if we stay at the current carbon mix of on our electricity grid, that because of the amount of cars we will grow and the efficiency we'll get out of the cars, we will still see a net loss in carbon over time. But there's going to be this hump in the middle as we transition.
Okay, well that's because it always is sold as like this green alternative.
Well,
but
yeah, that's what everybody focuses on is the non emissions of the car itself.
Well, it's like any technology. When you transition to a new technology, nothing's we talked about chargers and they don't match and everything else, right?
Yep.
There's these things we have to go through to set up as an engineer. You have to basically figure out the system, right? So we don't have the full system set up. So we have to go through a transition to that new system. And there's always a cost to that.
Okay. All right.
So what is their percentage that we're looking at in the future for electric owners versus gas owners?
Oh, by 2050, I mean, the numbers, I don't number the percentages off the top. I can get that for you for next week, Mike, but it's high. I mean, by 2050, they're looking, I think, at 80-90% electrification at that point in time of the fleet. So it's a lot. I mean, you're talking, you have to go a long way to do it.
All right. So let's talk about, there's these things that are like battery charges, right? So in Back to the Future, they call it like 1.21 gigawatts, right? So
gigawatts.
Gigawatts,
right?
So
Gigawatts. All
yeah,
above, right?
he's looking at his watch. Nothing's better than him, Doc Brown, looking at his wife or his watch, and then he swears and he swears and he swears. That's the funny. I think that's the funniest scene.
Well, we really need that power system for that car too, because I mean, just put a banana peel in there, if I recall, and you
Mr. Fusion.
That's right.
That's right. You know,
so that
would be great. But we're only talking about power from a lithium battery right now, and so when we're talking about that, is what is the unit of energy? And there's a reason why we're going to talk about this now for a little bit down. Is that it's basically what's called kilowatt hours, right? So 100 watts for one light bulb would be 0.1 kilowatt hours. So it's the amount of energy we're using or we're storing. And a typical household will use 3,100 kilowatt hours a year. And a typical EV, electric vehicle car, will use around 2,000 kilowatt hours a year.
Wow.
So so it's actually
it's almost the same amount as a house then.
That's correct, for a car for the year. And you know, we talked a little bit about storage before. You know, a Nissan Leaf plug-in hybrid, I think, was around 40 kilowatt hour battery, where the new Hummer coming out, the electric Hummer, is going to be around 200 kilowatt hours for the battery.
Wow.
So huge change in the size, and then the size of the battery as well.
All right, so let's talk about batteries. What are batteries made of? Let's talk about that. The inside of these batteries.
Yeah, so there's this magical new mineral, right? It's not really new, but that's really they've been able to harness in the last 15, 20 years is lithium. And we're using lithium ion and lithium ion phosphate for the current EVs that we're using in the field right now.
Okay. All right. So where does lithium come from?
Yeah, so lithium is mined in the out of the earth. It is first. Let me just kind of explain what lithium is a little bit more too. It's a light metal. It's actually soft as butter when you cut it, once it's purified. And this is why we wanted to talk about the kilowatt hours before. A 6 kilogram lead acid battery, so nice size lead acid battery, can store up to 150 watt hours. A lithium battery of 1 kilogram can store the same amount. So 1 kilogram lithium can store 150 watt hours, and a 6 kilogram lead battery can hold 150 kilowatt hours. Hence, it's super high capacity and high energy density. So we can pack all that energy in for that Hummer to run when it needs 2,000 kilowatt hours in the battery.
Okay.
And so then where it's coming from, it's mined. And there's two ways to mine it. Right now, it's coming out, a lot of it out of Australia, and that's mined as normal ore, like you mined. And then the other one is out of the salt flats in Chile and Argentina. And this one is really impacting the environment down there too. What they do is they pump this lithium water-based out of the ground, and they spread it across the salt flats, and they let the water evaporate out to get that lithium.
Okay.
And they need up to 500,000 gallons of water to get 1 ton of lithium.
Wow.
So there's a lot of impact to the local farmers that they're worried about down there and other things. So there's a lot of impact to the local water table down there because of the amount of water they're using to get that out. So there's a lot of concerns about how we can do that environmentally friendly and still get that lithium out, right? So, I mean, that's really one of the things I think, again, this is a new system we're doing. We need to figure out how to get through the whole entire supply chain, the lithium and the other things out appropriately. They're still going to have not as much environmental impacts. The top 5 mining countries right now are Australia, Chile, China, Argentina, and Brazil. Notice we're
Does
not
the
on
U.S. have any lithium, or are we just not mining it? What's up with that?
That is something. Yes, we do, and we're not mining it. Biden, Nathan, we talked about this a little bit. Biden and Congress and the Senate passed a law back in December trying to fast track EVs, and part of that is getting some mining done out west. It's been locked up for a while, so they're trying to get some applications passed to do some mining in the United States for lithium right now.
That'd be good. That'd be good. All right. Well, Phil, I don't think we finished or answered half of the questions that we need to, right? So we're halfway there. So let me ask you, can we extend the series another week? Because I still know that we haven't even gotten down to all the zero emissions stuff. So are you going to be able to do that?
I can do that, or even, yes. I mean, there's just amount of stuff we're finding is really quite, I didn't even get to everything we could have talked about today. It's quite fascinating.
So we're going to ask the same thing. How do we next week? But I'm going to add a little bit since you talked about carbon. I'm going to say, what is the carbon and microprocessor chip impact on electric vehicles and gas vehicles in the race to zero emissions? I don't want you to give any spoilers, but I'm going to ask that on top of our zero emission question. And then when we wrap up the series, it's going to be, should I buy an electric vehicle or should I not? And kind of this whole kind of cost versus analysis that Phil's got for us.
You mean rational thinking?
Yeah, some rational thinking. It's interesting because you always think that these electric cars are great until you hear all of a sudden you got South America that's putting this in the fields and you can't eat lithium. So that soaks into the soil. Now you got problems producing
lithium causes things in the brain.
Correct. So yeah.
It's actually used as a medication.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe you should talk about that on your Mike's Mesmerizing Moment. How's that sound, buddy?
No.
Okay. All right. So Phil, we're gonna have you back next week then. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks, Phil. All right. We're going to need to take a commercial break. When we return, we have an interview with the new startup that will change the way you make referrals of key friends to other companies. Join us as Ryan Agresta. Is that right? There we go. Shares his new technology direct in the studio. We're going to be talking about that. And of course, we have Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, and brought to us by Story Coffee and our pick of the day. So sit back, raise a glass. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon the Bookpository, and more.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. In studio, we have Ryan Agresta, the founder of Candidate.co. Now, don't go to candidate.com. It's not going to get you there. So,
yeah,
Candidate,
like you did.
Yeah, I did do that. Candidate.co in January 2020, driven by a desire to cultivate passionate change in the hiring process with tech industries. Candidate.co, a dual-sided tech platform, makes it easier for employees to find talent in order to build more inclusive and diverse teams. Ryan, welcome to the show. Let's get right into it. I got a few questions right off the top now. As we do each of these shows, sometimes people don't know it, but we always do these pre-interviews. So there's nobody I'm putting on the show that I haven't talked with at least for 10, 15 minutes, which then extends on to about 30 minutes. So I can really get to know the technology that's there and how it goes really well. So let me ask you, Ryan, tell me about how your platform, because we've had a lot of people on here with different software platforms, how's it different than Indeed and LinkedIn for job searching?
Yeah, so at Candidate, we are a two-sided marketplace. On one side, we're working with employers, traditionally tech employers, and they're posting roles along with corresponding referral bonuses. On the other side of the platform, we have people who are signing up as referrers. This could be any of us. This really can be anyone. We're building the technology to help those referrers understand who they know, match them to roles, and refer them. Should they be hired, then they collect 80% of that referral bonus. On average today, that's about $4,000 per role. So we are compensating people for their time and effort in helping connect their friends with meaningful opportunities. Quite different from the traditional job boards that are job seeker facing.
All right, so let me get this straight. So you just said $4,000. Is that what you said?
That's correct.
$4,000. You know, if I do enough of these things, I can pay for
That's what you focus on?
Yeah, well, I can get my DeLorean that I had my pre-order for that my wife's not excited about. Okay. Yeah. So in the current job market right now in technology, it is hot now, isn't it? I mean, it's like a bursting deal. There's over a million
Absolutely.
jobs. Okay, so there's people always looking to improve, right?
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, we have seen the tightest talent market in recent history, especially in tech. You've heard about the Great Resignation over recent years, the shift of where are we going to work, people job hopping. Talent is at an all-time premium.
Okay, so I got this talented person by the name of Mike Corday. I know him really well, right? This guy is phenomenal. He can tell jokes. He knows a little bit about technology. Now, if I wanted to refer him on your platform, how would I go about doing this? So would I submit a resume for him? Would I say that he's headshots of him? Would I say he's my buddy?
You send in some headshots.
That's right. How would I go about submitting a great candidate into your platform?
Yeah. So we try and keep this process as seamless and easy for you as the referrer as possible. You can either go to candidate.co or you can download the Candidate app from the App Store. From there, you're going to sign up. You can sign up manually with your email or with your LinkedIn. That process takes less than a couple minutes. And then from there, you're going to have access to see the roles. Again, we're also providing you technology to help understand who you know and match your network to roles, but you can browse those manually. Maybe you see one that you like for Mike. You can go ahead and submit Mike. Again, that process is only going to take a couple of minutes. You can certainly use his resume if you have it, but if not, you can give his LinkedIn profile, his contact information, and then it's handled by our team from there. There's no other effort required on your part.
So if I found a high-end technology dishwasher job that Mike Corday would be totally qualified for, right?
That's the limit of my technology.
No, hang on now. So I find that job. I look in the postings and I'm like, wow, this is just perfect for Mike Corday to be taken care of. I don't even need to have his resume. I can just send his LinkedIn account. And then you're telling me if he lands that job, you're going to give me a referral bonus. I just can't believe that. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. In the current state of the talent market, right? Like we mentioned, talent is at an all-time premium. Employers are really looking to figure out alternative sources to their top of funnel talent, is what we would call it. And they are open to kind of unique and novel solutions. In the case of submitting a referral, what we do is we send a tailored email to the employer about your referral, about Mike. So they're going to see your brief write-up about him, his contact information. They can click a button to get an introduction directly. Because we can keep it sort of seamless and easy for both sides, employers are more than willing to pay for it.
So you're telling me Robert Half must just love this application. So no, they must hate this because they're a recruiting service for technology companies, right? So I'm very familiar with them. I've used them to. So these companies that have these people that try to land a job, you have to work with the recruiter. The recruiter works with the interview person. The interview person then goes to the recruiter. The recruiter sends it to the company. The company then decides to interview the person. You're saying you're getting rid of all of this with technology. And you have an app where I can just submit this, and then does the company directly interview the client, or how does it go after that?
Yeah, so the employer gets an email when a referral is submitted. We're looking at really low volume and really high quality here, right? So we're only looking to get a few referrals per role. It's a better experience for both sides that way. But they can click a button, they'll get an introduction to Mike in that case, and then they're going to take him through their normal interview process. So it keeps it pretty simple for everyone, especially you as the referrer.
All right, so let me ask you another question. Now, let's say all of a sudden, Odie over here decides that she's going to submit Mike at the same time, but I was the first one to submit him. Does the commissions get split, or do I get it because it's first come, first serve? How do you go about handling that?
I should feel good about this, or
well, you got a great shot at landing this job at the tech dishwasher. So how do you handle those items?
Sounds like Mike's in demand.
That's right.
So in this case, the same individual can only be referred to a job one time. We use a couple of unique identifiers such as email or phone number or LinkedIn. So Odie would get a message saying, hey, this individual's actually already been submitted for this role. We can't process your referral. You can reach out if you think we got anything wrong. But Odie could submit Mike for a different role as long as you haven't also submitted him to that role.
Oh, that could be like dishwasher lead. You know what? Yeah, then I'd be in trouble, right?
You know, if I start getting calls for dishwasher tech positions, I'm going to come to your house.
All right. So Ryan, tell us now. You guys are looking for funding right now, right? We won't get into tons of this, but where can people? Right now, you're in a seed round, right? You're in the beginning of a seed round. So we have a lot of listeners that listen to us right now that have money. Open up your pocketbooks. Ask what happened to Story Coffee and a couple of these other ones. How would I reach you, Ryan, to sign up and to learn more about your company?
I'll be happy to give my email directly. It's ryan@candidate.co.
Oh, there you go.
We are not actively fundraising. Was fortunate to be able to raise our seed round last year. We're still operating on that, but in our world, you're really never not fundraising, right? So it'll probably be only a matter of time before we turn that on. And my email again is Ryan, RYAN @candidate.co.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for joining the show today. Mike, you know what? I think now we need to be inspired by your dishwashing skills and move into your Mike's mesmerizing moment.
Well, I can wash a dish.
All right, here we go. All right, let's start that next segment.
This is Mike's mesmerizing moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
We're going to talk about dishes?
Well, I don't know. What your mesmerizing moment. Let's talk about this job market that's going on right now, right?
Yeah.
It's a hot market. What do we do about it to make it why are people applying? What goes on in the psychology with all these jobs that are available?
As always, that's a very difficult question. We've got so your question is based on the fact that we've got all these jobs that are open and it's not being filled, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So we've got a lot of things going on right now. We've got an older generation that is retiring, a lot of it because of the pandemic. And again, as a result of the pandemic, we've got a lot of people who are switching the ways they do their jobs. So we've got a gig economy that's growing incredibly fast. We've got a lot of people creating businesses. So the markets that are getting hardest hit are the ones that you probably already know because you drive through town, and that would be food service.
Yep.
Hospitality.
Yep.
Things that are direct service, some manufacturing, things like that. And they're not keeping up with the thing. So as far as psychology goes, that's a very hard thing to say. A lot of people are not job hopping per se because of security.
Okay.
Right.
So do we value security over
as humans, our primary drive is to stay secure in many different circumstances. And in lieu of the way the pandemic has done to our current living style, a lot of us are still in this sort of secure mode. We want to make sure that what we have is we're going to keep what we have. And then in other realms like food service, people are fighting over money. They're not getting paid enough. They know that there's a big demand, so they can demand more, and it's very difficult for people to maintain positions or employers to maintain positions because the employees are not having it.
I saw a job on Craigslist for delivering pizzas. $27 an hour plus tips.
I saw one at my local Pizza Hut for $30 an hour.
For $30 an hour?
$30 an hour.
$30 an hour to do customer service jobs.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we can thank the pandemic and the continuing growth of industries during the pandemic, and also the baby boomers retiring. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff. All right. Well, I think now we're going to move to our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right.
Are you going to finish that?
Yeah, we got our old Ezra Brooks, 7 years maybe. Old barrel strength, 117 proof, $69 for this bottle. Wow.
Yeah.
It is, again, Mark's mumbles. Mark gave it a thumbs down. I'm going to go to you first, Al.
Well, I think old Ezra needs to stay in his coffin.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Oh, Odie, what did you think of this?
Double thumbs down.
Double thumbs down. You know what?
Yeah, you should have seen her face.
She said this is the worst stuff we've ever had on here.
Yeah.
Just to make my Canadian
and
Mist.
She likes Canadian Mist.
I know. She did like that one. Remember, she took the whole bottle home.
I know. It was gross.
That's right. Oh, we're not supposed to say that on the air. So we took the bottle home ourselves. All right. Well, I am also going to give it a thumbs down. It was not that great, and I would never spend $69 on a bottle that tastes like that.
Well, it certainly smells good.
It does. Is that the benefit of it?
Yeah.
You can smell the rest of what I had.
Smells good.
All right. Well, we had 3 guests on today. We got through all of them. I said we would make it through, and thank goodness we have Odie behind the board to help us keep straight. Now, you always remember you can be a caller on our show. All you got to do is go and visit techtimeradio.com and click on that top right-hand corner. You can leave us a 30-second question regarding technology, regarding something you want us to cover, and then we'll cover it on an upcoming show. You can always stay connected by signing up for our newsletter. We just have our new newsletter that was out there. Mr. Gourdet took care of that, so make sure you do that. And remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. We're looking forward to seeing you next week.
Are you sure?
I am.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.